Hi, it's Nelvin. Today I'll be teaching you 3 tricks on how to memorize lines instantly that you can put to use right now. So grab your script and monologue and follow along right now. Yes, I still don't give a sip. Let's say you have come across to a big fat monologue with lots of details like numbers, names, places, and actions, and etc. How are you supposed to memorize it? Easy. Just stick with me on this video, okay? Trick 1. Highlight and memorize only the keywords. Before you rush ahead and try to take your whole monologue like a big fat burger in one bite, how about doing it in little chunks? Grab your script right now and follow along with this exercise. I'm going to show you what I mean by keywords in a text. Let's take a look at this Marieux monologue from Les Miserables. This is actually a monologue I've used for my audition. Notice how I've highlighted only 1 or 2 words per sentence as a keyword? Never highlight long phrases as keywords. So, how do you decide which ones are keywords? Read out your lines right now and think about one word that tells the story. The word that drives the story the most. That's your keyword there. Now, I want to show you a specific case in the example here. Notice how I've highlighted smashed and burned in the monologue? You might be asking me, well, aren't they the same thing? They're both talking about the newspaper. Yes, but these 2 keywords are actually so distinctive in their level of intensity. And that is very important to this story in particular. First, the police smashed the press, and then the police burned the newspaper. See the build-up there? So yes, keywords are supposed to be indicators in the story that drives your story from one intention to another intention. If you still don't know what intentions are, please check out my last videos where I talk about method acting. You'll learn all the basic acting stuff there. I don't know which corner it's going to be showing. Please feel free to pause the video as you're highlighting all the keywords on your script, okay? Oh, also, one of the tricks is going to be catered to how to memorize dialogues instantly. So if you don't want to be set out, keep watching the video. So let's say you've highlighted all your keywords. Strike, law, king, crime, 2 weeks, blah blah blah, smash, burn. What's next? Easy. Paraphrase your monologue with these keywords. It doesn't have to be accurate on the first try. Let me give you a demonstration. First word is strike. Okay, so obviously this has something to do with striking, and this monologue obviously has something to do with how we can't strike in this society. So let's give it a try, okay? Okay, this is literally my first try. It's not scripted at all, okay? It's not scripted. Okay, so we can't strike because it's against the law to strike, and the king has prohibited all kinds of striking, and he considered all kinds of striking as crimes. 2 weeks ago, the police came to the gallery and they smashed the press, and then afterwards they burned the newspaper. That's it. You see, that wasn't perfect, but what you did there was you tried to force your brain to make connection between these keywords to make a reasonable and logical story. Now that's good memorization that you'll never forget. By the way, never try to memorize your lines with your photographic memory, because in that sense you are only memorizing the text, but not the meaning or the story. Trust me on that. I'll be making a separate video on what not to do when you're preparing for an audition. So make sure to subscribe right now if you don't want to miss that out. Trick number 2. Choreograph a sequence of movements. If you are an experienced actor, you should already know that speaking your lines is not enough. In order for you to know what you're saying, you need to be able to feel what you're saying with your body. Don't get me wrong, I am not talking about musical theater here, okay? I am not talking about musical theater. I'm talking about how you need to incorporate body movements in order for you to nail down every single line in your memory system. Personally, movement is the greatest acting trick in my book that helps me not only to memorize acting lines, but to act better in general. So let's practice. I've heard a song, Alexander Hamilton, from the musical Hamilton. I'm sure you all have heard of it. But for our acting's sake, let's treat this as an acting monologue. How do I incorporate movements when I'm acting these lines out? You gotta put down your coffee first. First, read this out loud and notice how it makes you feel in the gut. How does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore? You see how my body moves naturally without me even trying? Oftentimes, when you allow your body to feel things, you'll be able to gesture according to the emotions you feel. Secondly, besides moving with your emotions, you can also plan out a gesture for each point you're going to make. I call this choreographing movements. For example, how does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore, and a Scotsman dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot, in the Caribbean by Providence, impoverished in squalor, grew up to be a hero and a scholar? Think of this as a dance. But these movements have to be interesting enough and catchy enough that you are going to remember them. Also remember, these movements have to be connected to what you're saying. Trick 3, guessing the lines. I have to grab my coffee first. Now this trick is especially useful when you're dealing with dialogues. So grab your script if you have a lot of dialogues to analyze and you can follow along with this exercise. This is actually an acting technique that I've learned from my grade 11 teacher, but I can't seem to remember the name of the person who created this technique. So at the end of the video, if you have any idea who created this technique, please credit this person or simply remind me, because I'm aching to know. So how do you memorize lines by guessing them? It's easy. We'll use this scene from the famous movie Hannah as an example. If you've already seen the movie Hannah, this is the scene where she meets the little girl and she's sleeping in the same tent beside her. Her name is Sophie. So, okay, here's what you do. If you have a script printed out, it's so easy. You'll simply just cover up all the lines besides your scene partner's first line, okay? If you have a digital copy, it's even easier. You just scroll all the way up to where you only see your scene partner's first line, or simply just move all the other lines to the other page so you only see one line. It's going to look something like this. Now, you're going to read out your scene partner's first line and then guess what your next line is by reasons and logics, whatever makes sense to you. Guys, acting is all about reasons and logics, and they're what decides your intentions of your character. Again, if you still don't know what intentions are, make sure to check out my previous video on method acting. You'll learn everything about intentions in that video. I still don't know which corner is going to appear. Okay, let's try it. So, Sophie says, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know who you are, do I? Now, you probably don't have a clue what Hannah would say after Sophie's line on the script, right? But I want you to take a guess what a real person would respond after Sophie's question in real life. Okay, reasons and logics, remember? Again, Sophie says, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know who you are, do I? Okay, if I were to guess the line, I would have responded with something like, no, you actually don't know who I am, no. Even though it's wrong, it's actually not that far off from the correct line. The correct line on the script is, that's just it. Neither do I. In this case, by making a mistake on my first attempt, I have actually discovered that this line is actually more self-conscious and I would say more dramatic than I thought it was. So now, because I've compared my own response, my own natural response, to Hannah's response on the script, I will never forget this line. Think back to the moment when you made a huge mistake in your life. You'll never forget that moment, right? Because of the embarrassment and of the guilt you remember. That's all the tricks on how to memorize lines instantly. I upload a video every 2 weeks, so make sure to hit the subscribe button now so I can teach you even more acting techniques. Also, if you haven't done it already, please go on my Facebook page and my Instagram account and like it and follow it both. Recently, I've also started a TikTok account teaching acting hacks every single day. So if you are a TikToker, well, guess what? Follow me on TikTok at Actor Nelvin. If you are serious about learning acting, my acting school now offers all online acting courses on Zoom. Visit www.nelvindramaacademy.com to get your first 2-hour acting session with me. I'll see you very soon!